Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here, back today with another cryptocurrency video. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Bitcoin, telling you if, I think it's the time to sell or not. And of course you have to understand that this video isn't financial advice, right? I'm just sharing my opinion because Bitcoin is getting close to $10,000 and, you have to start thinking, are we going to get a pullback now? It's been running for a while and hasn't really been stopping. So I'm going to kind of give you my thoughts on that. I'm going to go through some technical analysis, and also just want to point out, I've been getting some comments asking me, what I think is going to happen at 10K. Here we have a comment asking, is it a sell at $9,950? James David Dexter over here says, any thoughts on a possible retraction at $10,000? Seems like the kind of round number that could see a lot of sell orders come through. And this is really what wanted to make me made this video. So I definitely agree with James here, and yeah, I think it's true that, of course, these big number areas for both stocks and cryptocurrencies are, often big selling areas, at least the first time around, right? So that was the case for $3,000, as we can see over here. Let me go ahead and zoom out a bit on the Bitcoin chart, but if you take a look at the chart, right, when we first came up to $3,000, we got a sell-off, right? We managed to break through the second time around. Same thing at $5,000, right? We peaked, fell back down, and then managed to break through again. And so that's a pretty common pattern, right? It just makes sense. And $10,000 is going to be, a major resistance level. And, I wouldn't be surprised, to be quite honest, to see Bitcoin, break through $10,000 and just keep on running. That's definitely possible, right? There's a lot of hype around it. It's definitely leading the market, and a lot of the money is going towards it. Now, what you have to realize, though, is that this recent, spike that we had is due to many things, but in part, there's been a lot of FOMO, right? That's fear of missing out, and that's basically just when people don't want to miss the boat, right? They see Bitcoin going up, they're like, I better put my money into it. I don't want to miss out on this run-up. And it just really shoots the price up, right? The only problem with that is it's just not sustainable. It needs a pullback to recover from that and to keep moving upwards, in a healthy way. So I think that there's a good chance that we do see a sell-off, when we start testing $10,000. So probably right under that is where there's going to be a lot of sell orders coming in. And we'll just have to wait and see, right? But I think that, like I said, there's a bigger chance that we do get a bit of a drop after that, and I'm going to go through the levels, of course. But with that being said, I did want to say that it's definitely possible, of course, that we see the a break of $10,000, right? That's completely possible. It's just a bit more unlikely than, a bit of a sell-off. Also, I just noticed really quickly that we do have a little bit of a negative bearish divergence over here on the RSI compared to the price, right? That's when the RSI has actually been moving lower as the price has been going higher. I thought I might as well just point that out, but otherwise we're going to zoom in a bit and, get into a bit more detail here on where we can expect Bitcoin to kind of fall. Now, really quickly, I want to mention as well that we see that as Bitcoin is getting closer and closer to $10,000, right? I'm on Bitstamp right now just because I've been doing my technical analysis on it. On Coinbase, Bitcoin is already trading pretty high, around $9,700. So we're just about to test 10,000, right? We're probably going to test it very shortly. This could happen in the next day or so. And, it's a little bit of an early prediction, but I think it's worthwhile. And what I wanted to say is that we can see that Ethereum is getting now some bounce, and Litecoin is moving up, broke above $90. So the most likely case scenario here is that Bitcoin is going to take a bit of a hit when it reaches $10,000, and some of the altcoins will start bouncing back up, right? Like Litecoin, Ethereum, stuff like that. So of course anything could happen, right? We can never be certain, but I would say that's probably the most likely case scenario, moving towards $10,000. And as far as the levels go, what I wanted to point out is what I think we're going to see here is really just a spike here. Like I said, in the next couple days. It could be faster, like this could happen, in the next day or so, or the next 2-3 days. But within a week here, we'll probably get a test of $10,000. And what we can expect, I think, is really just a spike, peak there, and pretty much right away come back falling down. So what you have to realize as well is that our previous uptrend candlestick, this one over here, right, which is now acting as resistance, is actually right in line with the $10,000 mark. So that's going to be, yet an added sign of a potential sell-off at $10,000. Combined with that, we have a little bit of a downtrend going on the RSI, like I pointed out before, and just overall, we're pretty extended. If you just look at the price action, the Bollinger Bands especially, right? We are trading now on/almost above the Bollinger Bands, and of course the MACD is pretty overextended. Now, what you have to expect in terms of pullback, right, I would say is initially I think it's pretty likely that if we start selling back off from $10,000, logically we should get a test of this $8,275 level, which is this resistance line right over here, and that's because we haven't really came back and tested that since our big run up here about 3 days ago. So logically, we have to get a test of that at least, and I think that would be a reasonable level to kind of bounce off of and then start moving back up, right? I'm not bearish on Bitcoin or anything. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to go crashing long term, right? This is obviously just going to be a temporary pullback, I guess, and then I think we'll continue our uptrend and everything, right? I'm not worried about that, but I do think that we will see a drop here, and the drop could be even bigger. If we look back at what happened when we hit $3,000, we came all the way back down to the middle band over here, the brown line. When we hit $5,000, exact same thing, came down to the middle band, and the middle band is currently sitting at $5,204, right? So do I think we will get and that's actually funny because it corresponds to the more long-term uptrend line over here. Do I think we will fall back down to $5,240 or whatever it was? Yeah, I don't think so, right? That seems like a massive drop right now with the enthusiasm around Bitcoin. That seems pretty unlikely, in my opinion, that we're going to see, a pullback all the way down to here, right? That's just not very likely, even though, it would make sense because we haven't actually came back and tested that $5,000 mark. Just right now, it seems like there's just way too much enthusiasm around Bitcoin for that to happen, right? Another thing that I should point out is we do have decreasing volume here, so that also usually signals that a reversal and pullback in this case is probably in play, right? So just look at the MACD. We've been uptrending for a really long time here. Usually we come back and move back towards the orange line and bounce back off that. So a lot of signs pointing towards it, and that's kind of what I wanted to point out. Now, as far as going lower than this 8,200 and what was it, around $250 level. How much lower could we go from that? Like I said, of course, we could come back and do something crazy like test $5,000. I think that if we go lower, we're probably not going to go much lower than maybe this $7,500 level, right? I think that would already be more than enough of a pullback before we can start to see an uptrend again. So that's where I think Bitcoin, what I think Bitcoin is going to do, in the next couple weeks. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that Bitcoin will indeed see a pullback at $10,000? It just seems likely with the amount of selling pressure that'll be at that level. Of course, like I said, it's possible that there's enough hype to kick it above that, but the most likely case scenario is that we will get a sell-off, right, and come back and test maybe this uptrend line over here at around $8,250, something like that. So yeah, this is kind of what I expect for Bitcoin. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like, and thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.